Hello there, all you amazing people. Today I am going to rant a little bit. As you guys can see here, I am on Ubuntu. Why am I on Ubuntu? Well, I'm actually on a laptop. I'm testing this Elgato thing out, or well, not Elgato thing, but I'm capturing my system here so I can do more laptop videos like this without having to massively take out resources of all laptops that they don't have. But just so you guys know what I'm actually talking about, so on Dell Latitude 5400 with a good old 8-gen i5 8 cores, which is actually a really good CPU. I use the i7 version for development work at work, and the bottleneck is not the CPU, it's the RAM I have on it. I need more than 16 gig if you're doing like heavy C# work and stuff like that. Here you can see a little bit more of it, what VLAN and what GNOME version I'm using and stuff like that. The whole point is that I will get into that when you subscribe to the channel. Watch the whole video before you go nuts in the comment section and say, oh, but you fool, and blah, 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 blah. And then either like or dislike, give me some feedback if you just like, oh, use arts or all of that. I will get into that in a second. We are living in 2025. I don't think this is like weird to like, oh shit, are we? Yeah. Linux has been around since, well, how long has it? Let's see here. 1991, 2-3 years when it, like, I think it was 3, but it was first, like, probably released in 1992, I can't remember. It's not a youngling anymore. All of the excuses of, well, Linux is the new kid on the block and all of these things, forget about them. That's just copium. That's you coping with a lot of things that you know should happen but are not happening. I have on this laptop here that I now put down all the links, or not links, on all the specs of. Like I said, it is a proper laptop. It is running quite good. Again, the capture card thingy is a little bit fuzzy, stuff like that. If you guys have any idea, again, a side note here to how to make it like crisp and stuff like that, let me know how to set up in OBS, because I'm still new with this whole capture thingy. But anyway, the further updates, you know, things like this just works. You know, it's amazing. It just works. Like, it does work. When you're doing simple shit. When you are just expecting it to install on your system. This laptop here has run a lot of Linux distributions. So if you go on to DistroWatch here, it's a better way for me to actually explain what I run on it. So, Cachios is taking off in the hits. I run Mint, Debian, Manjaro, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE, like OpenSUSE, Elementary. What else have I run on it? Solus, I think I installed on it at one point. Yeah, I think that's a Kubuntu. So Ubuntu, Lubuntu, Kubuntu. I think that's about it. It's a fair, you know, I had this laptop for like 2 years now, 3 years. It's a fair bit of distributions that I run on it. They all have the same problem. One of them is this thing you see up here right now. I am charging. It's not the charge time, that's comparable. It's the battery life. It just sucks, okay? There are some expectations that I get from a modern system in 2025, even if it only have like 4 point... What is the market share of Linux right now? The worldwide market share. It goes into June. So let's just take anything away that's not Linux. And yes, unknown is not Linux, that's why it's called unknown. We don't know. It could all be Windows, it could all be Linux, it could all be FreeBSD, we don't know. We are at 4.09%, which is a downfall since PewDiePie and all that shit. But anyway, even if you're only like, let's say 4% of the desktop market, if you want to sell me a desktop OS, I have some expectations. And they are not that big. And here's the thing, most people have these expectations. So if you go, I made a little bit of a note of it here. Popular hardware should just work, okay? People and we are okay with it may not be working 100%, meaning that we don't get 100% of the capabilities and stuff like that. That's fine. But at least give us like somewhat 90, 99%, 95%. We also want good alternatives. If I want to use Photoshop, I don't want to use GIMP. If I want to use Photoshop and I don't like Photoshop, well, I go in and I hate this fucking stick thingy. People that say, oh, I need Photoshop, or I want Photoshop, alternative for that is what they then want the alternative to be like, or do, or feel like, is this here. Affinity Photo. This is the one I'm using because fuck you, Adobe. You know, why use this? Because it's Photoshop. It does what Photoshop does. It's a non-destructive photo editing software that supports the same formats, that do all the same shit, not the same, it do 95% of the same shit that Photoshop does in the same manner, in the same workflow, with the same easiness in quote. GIMP does none of that. GIMP is an amazing photo editor, but it's GIMP, it's unique. You have Quitza, that's kinda there, but you only get 25% of the functionalities. This is the same problem I have with video editing software on Linux. I use DaVinci Resolve. I can install that on Linux, but I'm losing some capabilities in codecs. Then we have Kdenlive. Again, it's not even 90%, it's like 60% of what DaVinci Resolve can do. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to lose all the other shit, or make it take 5 times longer to do the same shit, because now I have to use plugins, they are unstable, or the workflow in good old Kdenlive, all the other free and open source alternative is just fucking stupid because they don't have UX designers to work for them. I know they are there, they are good. If you like them, you like them. If you're doing rudimentally editing, Quitza for photos, and most of these free and open source alternatives are great for rudimentally, let's put together, a wedding video, or let's put together, let's edit some pictures I took from the prom or something like that. My stupid little channel, I'm still using stuff that none of these free and open source software either do quite well and barely and can't do at all. And I'm not doing anything massively fucking advanced here. And it's like that with GIMP, it's like that. GIMP is probably the exception, it's just more the workflow with GIMP, and that it's a destructive editor and stuff like that. But like all the other alternatives, there's almost no good alternative that can replace a lot of the software that people actually like to use. It's just plain simple. And then comparable, so with features and hardware. I want comparable features off of my OS. I want comparable hardware support. I want comparable speeds. Again, we're going into the battery life situation and stuff, like we're at 14% charge right now. This laptop here, if I throw Windows on it and I close the lid, you can't see that, but I put it into like hibernation or stuff, something like that, which I can't do. I have to set that up apparently. It can last for days, almost like a week, I think, just being hibernated. On Linux, the next day I have to charge it or something in that nature. On same battery, same hardware, I get almost no hibernation or sleep, or what you would call it, out of it. These are the simplest thing that you can ask for an OS in 2024 if you want to compete with the major leagues. You don't go to like NFL or NBA when you are like 2 feet tall and say, but I'm fast and blah blah. No, you can't compete. We have like a height fucking requirement or a weight requirement, that a minimum height, a minimum weight, a minimum strength. And if you don't go under these, you just can't fucking compete. You can sit here and sniff copium and dope yourself into believing that you actually are a fucking NFL or NBA player. But you're not even fucking, the minimum requirement is like night and day compared to what you offer. That's the problem I have with Linux. As a desktop, not a server, not a supercomputer, not an IoT device, a desktop. Because in all the other places, Linux deliver fucking better than any other. But on the desktop, it just sucks. And I spent some time setting this up because I want to use this a little bit as a development station. You can see I have Visual Studio Code because I want to... Basically, the reason why I set this up with Linux is I want to test some Java programming that I'm doing. I want to test that on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So might as well do that on this one here. This is another fun little thing. I'm like, you know what? I have a somewhat good computer. So I have a AMD R7 7700. I have 64 gig of RAM. And I have a newish 4060 Ti. It's RTX nowadays. RTX. I could not get Ubuntu to install. The biggest Linux distribution on earth could not install because of this here. I had to boot into save, what is it called? Yeah, save mode or VTA save mode or something like that. They did it perfectly fine. I installed it and I was like, well, there must be an easy way to prompt into video save mode when it's installed. No, there's not. There's just not. You have to do a lot of fucking hacking the config files and stuff like that. And I don't want to do that in 2025. This is what you have to remember. Had this been 1999, 2000, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would, yeah, I get it. I would expect that, but not in 2025. So I had to unplug my fucking HDMI cable, plug it into my onboard graphic card, then download the NVIDIA drivers, then install them, of course, and then I could use it. And it's running right now on my gaming rig. I may try some Linux gaming just for fun before I install Windows on it again. But that should not happen in 2025. And I know a lot of you guys say, oh, it's NVIDIA, NVIDIA's fault. I don't care whose fault it is. That's politics. That's business politics. If you want to compete with Windows and Mac OS, you damn make sure that stuff like that works. Do whatever you have to do. Be more acceptable for proprietary software. Help them out, whatever it takes to make this last gen, not current gen, last gen graphic card just work out of the box. And again, this is an Ubuntu problem. I think I got meant to work with it and stuff like that, but it don't matter. The Ubuntu is the default Linux distribution. It's the most popular Linux distribution in the universe. It should just work. And I'm running, like you see, the latest version of Ubuntu also. There's no excuses. Even if it detects that you have this good old graphic card, and it's like, oh, we're not that compatible with it, it should just automatically boot you into safe mode. And it should remember that when you install the distribution that, well, until you get the drivers, we are automatically booting you into safe mode. I could be the only one in the universe having this issue. I could be that. But the matter of fact is I have it. That's just on my gaming laptop, or not gaming laptop, my gaming computer. Then I, as you guys can see here again, for fuck's sake, this thingy here. I set up Docker, I have Visual Studio, I do use Copilot. In my opinion, Copilot is the best for code helping. Hate me, I don't know, I used it for work. All the people I show it at work that use Gemini and ChatGPT, they end up using fucking Copilot, or at least having in their tool set when they are doing code snippets help and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff here, and I'm like, no, I've just mistakenly fucking clicked the trash bin. That's another thing with the whole setup by default. By default, everything is so hyper fucking sensitive that you should think it's like fucking social justice warrior on Twitter that just got triggered by someone waving their hands in South Africa or something like that. Again, as you guys can see, I don't have many programs because I start to set it up, I start to download the programs that I need. Why is Visual Studio Code not even in here? That's another thing. That's a snap package, it's not even in the fucking menu. Am I blind? No. Where's Vivaldi? That's also a snap package. Now it's there. That's another thing. I don't particularly dislike snap packages, but at least if you're bundling with your fucking distribution, I expect it to be where you are looking for it, and you don't have to like search for it to get it to work. And here's the thing, I've had this with other distributions using native package formats also. I had that as a problem. And I kind of know what the problem is. You need to do some GPK menu refreshing kind of thing, so it links the location to the menus, and you have to do it differently depending on what fucking UI you're using or what desktop environment you're using and stuff like that. But there's some memory refresh that you have to do to get that to work. And you see here, it's super efficient in resources. No complaint there. Then I was like, oh man, I need to edit a picture. Now we're back to this again. Oh, I need to get DaVinci Resolve installed, and just a matter of fact, the way that I record my videos to save space and be more efficient and stuff like that, I could end up getting into troubles because those codecs are not supported under DaVinci Resolve in Linux. And again, you can all say, but it's this fault, this fault, this fault, this fault. I don't care. This whole whose fault it is, bitching and moaning and copium sniffing, I don't care. If you show up to tryouts in NBA or NFL, and you lose, or you don't get the spot, and it's because I didn't get a blowjob last night, and my girlfriend is angry at me, and I didn't really talk that well with my trainer because they're fucking douchebags, or my supplement company just, they changed the formula of my fucking protein powder. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. You want to be in the league, you compete, and you show up prepared. You don't get a spot because of excuses. Oh, actually, the touchscreen is working. Teams don't win championships with excuses. They win championships with capabilities because they show up and they deliver these things. Linux needs to get that in, or the Linux community, the Linux developers, they need to get this in their thick skulls. I see desktop environments being developed. I see all of these like unnecessary things to be developed, and then this fucking simple shit don't fucking work out of the box. Let's develop another desktop environment. What about making a fucking proper Photoshop alternative? Or what about making or going and giving resources to Affinity or Adobe and say, we really want your software. Let us help you get your software on our platform. We have 10 developers. We have 100 developers that can help. Why not do that? No, let's make another video player. Let's make another desktop environment that nobody have asked for. Why? Because that's easy. Linux does a lot of things that is super easy. If you look at all of these distributions, 99% of the things that are different between these distributions are things you could learn to do within a year of development. It's nothing groundbreaking. There is nothing in these distributions besides Ubuntu, SUSE, and Red Hat that stands out. Everything else is rudimentally entry-level development. It's just easy to do, so that's what they do. Getting Affinity to port it over without having to use Vine and all this fucking bullshit is hard. It takes lobbying, it takes conversation skills, it takes reaching out, it takes compromise, and then it takes cooperation. It takes teamwork, which I feel a lot of Linux developers don't really good at either. And then of course, it's proprietary, who gives a fuck? Again, if you show up to NBA or NFL and all you have is excuses in your bag, you'll be kicked out as fast as you go in the door. I am tired of Linux getting this pass with excuses. It's young, it's the third OS, nobody really cares. I don't care. I'm tired of it. I am tired. We are living in 2025. Linux is $1 billion fucking industry, even on the desktop. And you tell me you cannot get these rudimentary fucking things to kind of work in 2025 with companies making millions of dollars with Linux, with unlimited fucking distributions out there. You cannot, as a collective, figure out to do the most rudimentary fucking thing that people expect out of an operating system. But you can make excuses like it was Olympic sport. I am tired of this now. I really wanted this experiment to work. I really wanted this old laptop to run Linux, my gaming computer to run Linux, and then I use my Mac Mini as my main system when I'm not computer gaming. It just don't. It's almost there, it's half-assed, it's like you have to deal with these fucking irritation and quirky bullshit things. I don't want, why? Why should I why should it be like, okay, you're 2 foot tall, you can barely run, you're fatter than I am, let me take you on my NBA team. Why should I settle when it takes me 2 seconds to dig out a fucking Windows USB, install it, and that's it. And then I don't have to deal with any of this shit. And everything just fucking works. Is it irritating? Yes. Does it ping pop-ups all the time? Yes. Does it take telemetry user data? Yes. But you know what? I don't have to deal with this. And this is like the minor things. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when I was using Linux, I will just fix this myself. I will spend like a day fixing all of these things. Get a cup of coffee, get some soda, get some snacks, and then, this is a project for today. If it takes 30 minutes, it takes 30 minutes. If it takes the whole day, it takes the whole day. I don't care. Today, I'd rather sit and fucking develop programs I can use or other people can use. I'd rather sit and make content or research shit that actually helps me become better at my job or give something back to the community via making videos and stuff like that, than trying to fucking be a system administrator for my computer. But heck, it can give you content. I will give you guys that. And here's another thing. You guys can see I'm using GNOME here. I love KDE, but, you know, good old Ubuntu comes with GNOME 44. And I'm like, I don't mind the Ubuntu desktop. It's the right GNOME that's not GNOME for me. I rarely see people. I've been using Linux for 27 plus years now, and I rarely see people using vanilla GNOME. They always customize it. And the more I use GNOME, I'm tolerating this. Mac OS has more customizability and user features than GNOME have nowadays. Mac, the most restricted fucking operating system in the world, is better for customization and user capabilities, or at least accessibility also, but also like what you can do with it than GNOME. And you're like, can't you fool? We have like i3, all these like all of these tiling Windows managers. And like, yeah, they are great if you are a developer that do nothing that develop on your machine, or you love taking screenshots. Then yeah, they're great. But again, I've known developers for my whole life. I never see anyone sitting and do tiling Windows Manager at any fucking development work they do. There's 1 out of 1,000. So congratulations. Then we have KDE. And this is a fun thing. People are like, oh, but it's too complicated. There's too much customization. Is that not what you Linux people want? You can't satisfy a Linux user. It's like a fucking girlfriend that always yells at you and nothing you do. You can give her 10,000 orgasms and she still find a way to bitch about it. This is like the Linux community. Like, it's too much. It's too much customization. And no, it's too little. It's too little. And then when you look at it, look, they are ripping off Windows. Like, they don't innovate anymore. There's nothing new in KDE that Windows. There's a few things with like the floating taskbar and stuff like that. If I want this experience, I might as well run Windows. If I want the KDE, the GNOME experience, I might as well just run Mac OS. And then we have XFCE. Yeah, welcome to the 90s. It would be great for our server. It would be great for our production machine, where you need everything to be consistent all the time. But it's so fucking outdated and ugly. It's like, you can make it pretty, but welcome to the 90s. And we have Pop, Cosmic Desktop. Okay, another Mac-like, more customizable system that we don't know is going to take off or not. We have Solus Budgie. Nobody's fucking using it other than the Solus people and a few other idiots out there. When I mean idiots, I mean people that actually really like the Budgie desktop. We have all of these like smaller little desktop that only like a handful of people are using because they want to feel unique and special, like me. Even the major desktop, the 3 major desktops, is either outdated, more locked down than the proprietary world, or it just copy Windows one by one and giving you a little bit fancier animation, but it's then too complicated for a super smart, intelligent Linux user to use for some fucking weird reason. I always giggle when people say that, yeah, KDE is too complicated, but I love sitting and compiling the kernel and customizing the back end of Linux, and like, you do all of those things, but you can't fucking figure out the configuration menu in KDE. That sounds more like you just don't like KDE, which is fine, by the way. It's just like, okay. I do this experiment at least once a year, every year. And for 27 years, with all the advances we have with Linux, there is still things that I deal with today I dealt with in 1999. And it's the most rudimentary fucking things. And again, it goes back to this little... I keep using the point thingy, the nibble thingy, because I'm used to a Lenovo laptop. It all comes down to what I'm typing here. Most popular, or not, but some popular hardware just don't work out of the box, or it's not as efficient, or you always compromise in some way. Most alternatives are not even in the same league as the software that they want people, or they want to take users away from or using. They're not even in the same league. There's like, again, yeah, I would say GIMP is kind of okay. Like, if you get into the workflow, you like that form of editing, it's fine. VLC is amazing. Audacity is amazing. OBS, I'm using that right now, is amazing. But those are like 4 systems, 4 FOSS programs that are brilliant out of millions. On the Windows and Mac side, I can mention hundreds of fucking software that do these things here that are actually really good alternative to them. And then again, we still, it's gotten better with battery life, but we're still dealing with it. We are still dealing with good old battery life, Joe, over here. And we're still dealing with a lot of hardware incompatibilities. And again, I don't give a fuck about excuses. If you want to compete, you have to show up with the same capabilities as everyone else. Or the bare minimum as anyone else. And again, this with the graphic card, it could just be me, it could just be the firmware, I don't know. But I'm not the only one that have somewhat new hardware where Linux just don't work. I had in my stream people buying hardware, upgrading their hardware, say I can't use Linux anymore. Because it's either inefficient, it don't run that well, the drivers are fucking awful. And I'm like, what did you do? I installed Windows. Because I want this hardware. I spent a lot of money on this hardware. There is no excuses. The only excuse that I can agree on from the good old Linux world is that they're saying, we know it sucks, We are working on it. We are having lobbyists, we are having protests out there and fucking camping in front of companies' headquarters to have a conversation with them. We have meetings with them. We are trying to get this work. What I don't like is the Linux world pointing fingers at NVIDIA and say, we don't like your proprietary software. Please make your drivers work. Please make everything work. Please make your hardware work on Linux, because we don't want to do it. How long ago did NVIDIA open source the drivers and we still have this fucking problem? This is unacceptable. If you show up to the NFL, NBA in this state, overweight, slow, short, weak as a motherfucking idiot, it's unacceptable. And you think you can be the starter fucking whatever that you want to be, position you want to fill. And you can run 2 meters and then you get a heart attack, but you still think you should be a major league fucking player. It's unacceptable. And I get that a lot of people run Linux nowadays, full time. A lot of people are happy with it, but they're compromising more than they know. Because I used to be one of you guys. I have run all of these Linux distributions, plus as many Linux distributions you have never heard of. If it's in DistroWatch, even in the what is it called? Unsupported or dormant or whatever they call it. If it ever has been on DistroWatch, I have more than likely run that distribution. I have mained Linux before you probably were born or old enough to know how to turn on a computer. I mained Linux for longer than most people use things. I mained Linux for close to 20 years as my main OS. And we still are dealing with stuff like this. And you guys are asking me, and people like me, why are we only 4% of the desktop market? Because of this. And then when people address it, you get angry, you call them idiots, sheeps, proprietary lovers, sucking off Bill Gates, all of the copium and excuses in the world. Why are you short? Why are you fat? You can't do anything about being short, but why are you overweight? Why are you weak? Why can't you run? And then you get all the excuses in the world, but then you can't compete. But I want to. You can't then. Just get the fuck out of our stadium. If Linux wants to compete, get the fucking shit together. I could expect stuff not working on one of these, like, I don't know, Muriana, or what the fuck this is called, or TinyCore, or Dr. Party, or some obscure, little unique distribution. I can say, yeah, some of the hardware don't work that well, or there are some, they don't have like millions of dollars behind them, is what I'm trying to say. But Ubuntu? And I may be able to install Fedora and it just works, I get it. But I should not have to choose what distribution based on my hardware. All Linux distribution should be running on the hardware. All Linux distribution, this is my problem. All Linux distribution should be following this little thing here. I should not have to choose based on what I want to do and my hardware. I should have to choose on what people do I like, what development team do I like. What features do they bring to the desktop? Like, what extra programs have they made to make my life more convenient and better? That's how I should choose my distribution. Not that this support this and this don't. Because I don't want to sit and figure out what they support and don't support. I just want to figure out which one is giving me the best desktop environment, which one is giving me the more, let's say, streamlined desktop environment or experience, which one is giving me unique, useful programs that makes my day-to-day on Linux better, easier, funnier, etc., etc. That's how I want to choose my distribution. I don't want to try 10,000 different distributions to find the one that just happens to boot on my configuration. Because that's the thing, they never tell you. They say, supported, and it's not supported. Because they just take the support list from the fucking kernel or the developers of each individual component. They don't actually really test it. You are the tester here. And we bitch and moan about how Windows is laid off that testing team many, many years ago. And you tend to forget that all you Linux users bitching and moaning about that, you are the testers. You are the R&D department. This is a fucking weird background, but anyway, you are their Q&A. You are their Q&A. That's just not good enough in 2025. This is why Linux is only 4% of desktop market. I am tired of all your excuses. I want solutions. So if you're going in the comment section with, oh, it's this fault, and blah, 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 and you can't expect this, get the fuck out of here. Give me solutions. What can we do? What should we do to fix this? I don't want excuses, I want solutions. See you all later. Bye-bye.